Hopefully, there we go. Good morning, everyone. Oh, it's one of those beautiful rainy days. I just love it. Just love it. How about you? I do too. We have Dalton with us this morning, and he's got some great music to start us off with. Glad you're here.
Glad to be here. Day of the Lord, when the divinity returns to us, when living our free will, and with all the power of our spirit, we decide to live our lives in free communion with God, with no we will live our lives with gratitude, love, loyalty, and justice, beginning with ourselves and continuing with our brothers and sisters. We will respect all creation as the symbol of our love, communion with the one who created us to the eternal happiness of humanity. Come on now, y'all. Clap your hands and sing along. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. That's how it goes. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing love. I'm choosing love today. Oh, I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of love right now, singing I'm choosing love. I'm choosing joy. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of joy right now, singing I'm choosing joy. I choose compassion. I choose compassion today. I choose compassion today. I am walking the road of compassion right now, singing I'm choosing compassion. Heaven with me one more time. I'm choosing heaven today. Oh, I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Yes, I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Say hello to the person next to you right now.
Boy, I needed that, did you? Just get us in some energy here. That was great. Thank you. Oh, my. Well, I'm Reverend Dr. Mary Mitchell. I'm a staff minister here and in service to the center, and Reverend Sue, our senior minister. We inspire and encourage people to live spiritually fulfilling lives because, you know, I've been doing this 31 years. Wow. And I wake up every day and I love this philosophy. I love it. It just does so much good for myself especially, and everyone that I know and love. All right, so the practitioner in service today are Shirley Wade, yay Shirley, and Christy Carr, and myself and Charlie. Well, there's Charlie. Okay, and we'll be by the bell after service if you would like an affirmative prayer, something to cheer you up like Dalton did and clear away the grayness or anything that's holding you back from living a joy-filled life. We're inviting the children to come up so we can sing You Are the Face of God, and Lindy's going to move the camera around so you can wave to everyone in the world. She's safe. All right. She is safe. Oh, my goodness. All right. I'd like to thank everyone who came early to set this whole place up for you this morning. Lindy and the sound team with Joey, our ushers and greeters, Doug and Ronnie, our kitchen cookies. And there's several of them in today because they're helping with something real special. And, of course, our music, Dalton and Judy. And it's just a wonderful place to come into when you walk in and everyone's smiling. It's such a nice feeling. All right, if you would turn off any electronic devices that would beep or make noise or anything during the service, we would appreciate it. If you're new with us today, we have a welcome packet that has all kinds of We're out. All right, come back next week if you're new. And we will have a wonderful welcome packet for you. And it has a lot of great information and one of our magazines in it. So thank you, Doug. Anyway, doesn't happen very often. All right, we have some focus announcements. Here they are. Diana, come on up.
Morning. I'm Diana Wolfstead, co-treasurer with Jill Ward of our center. And Charlie Bourne and I are here today just to welcome you to the one time of year that we celebrate the endowment for our center. And I'd like to introduce to you the current custodian members of the endowment so you get to see their faces. Cher Matthews, Reverend Sue oversees everything. Roy Wolfstead. Who else is here? Kurt Mitchell. Jane Parsons is a voting member. I'm not sure she's here today. There you are. Stand up, Jane, so they can see who you are. Okay. And we also have several really active friends of the endowment. Beyond Charlie and I, we have Helen Peterson here, all the kitchen cookies, Hazel, Judy Carmi. People throughout the year silently work to support the endowment, and we consider ourselves the endowment family, whether we're a voting member or we're a friend. So a little background on the endowment.
Maybe anyone who's contributed to the endowment fund or supported it could stand up as well, then you can see the global community for support.
So if you've given a pig, if you've given time, if you've been a committee member, awesome. So the endowment was established way back before 2006. We didn't begin to keep records until 2006. The endowment is a fund that is separate from our general fund. It has its own set of bylaws, And the committee, the 5 voting members and the current senior minister are custodians of the fund in 3-year terms, and they report to the board of directors, who has to approve any decision that is made for the endowment. The vision of the endowment is stated here on the... Charlie, can you read that?
So the mission statement, our spiritual community manifests its unfolding vision through past, present, and future giving.
So way back in the day, our vision was to create a separate fund from the general fund that we could collect donations, which we call sacred principle. That means that that money is ongoing, perpetuating, and will never be spent. Only the interest earned on that money is offered up for circulation as expendable. The Center for Spiritual Living here, our center, our wonderful center, is one of the few churches across the United States that has an endowment. We are the model for many of the churches, so we should be really proud of that. The original goal was to accumulate funds up to $50,000 in sacred principle. It took us several years before we began offering the interest forward for grant opportunities, grants that would benefit the center here, our center. Donations come in a lot of ways. They're gifts of the heart via your pledge, estate gifts, IRA contributions that are non-taxable if you're over 72, and the piggy banks. The piggy bank project began 16 years ago as an annual fundraising event for the endowment. And we've passed piggies out over the years. There are many, many, many out there. Over the past 16 years, the piggy banks have brought in over $37,000 in income to our center in little banks. It gets even better because once we reached that $50,000 goal, we began having the grant process. And people like you submit ideas for the center that would be for the betterment, a new roof, a new painting in the children's cottage. There's a list out in the foyer hanging on the bulletin board of all the projects we've done over the last 16 years.
The sound system you're listening to right now was from an endowment grant.
The projector here above us, endowment grant.
And a new board system for the sound booth is from the endowment grant.
Those are the most current ones. But this is the kicker, you guys. In 16 years, with the interest that's been built up with this sacred money that's never been spent, the endowment grants have contributed over $100,000 in project money for our center. So to tell you where we are with the balance of the market going up and down like crazy, but as of the end of third quarter in September, we still have $193,578 in our endowment fund, working to earn interest for next year's grants. And these adjustments for the quarters to reflect the market are monitored by our beloved past treasurer, Deb Black, who moved to Oregon. She's still a valuable friend of the committee, and she does all of that for us and reports to our bookkeeper how to adjust our books. So how do you get involved? Well, today you can get involved by stuffing the pig with your money, bringing in your piggy bank, learning more about the endowment if we piqued your interest, how you can get involved. The committee is here to answer your questions in the social hall. We're having a great breakfast, and we just want to create awareness about what's going on behind the scenes to make our community, because of all of you, so great. So thank you. Charlie?
Great job, Diana. So just, yeah. And so just to emphasize the importance of this fund, it's also a community builder, you know, not only through the Piggy Reunion, and which is really a fun thing to do, is to put your coins in there all the time, but also just to support consciously the growth of the center. And the sacred principle goes on and on and on, like Diana said. And so it's really, really valuable, and we are looked at from the centers, like Diana said, as a hallmark, as a way to do it. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I remember so clearly when Dr. James said, we're not going to spend a penny of the interest until we have $50,000 in the bank. And we all went, whoa, am I going to retire before that happens? And it is just magical. Once it starts exploding, it does that. Good job, committee. Really good job. Thank you. All right. The next thing on the list of announcements here, is birthdays. Judy's in place. Anybody who has a birthday in November, please stand up. All right. All right. Terry, good. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everyone. Happy birthday to you. We're doing a lot of clapping this morning. That's fun too. Gets the energy going. All right, and Thursday, November 10th, it's second Thursday every month from 10 to noon, I facilitate a caregiver support group because I'm now a caregiver for my husband, and it is so enlightening, and it feels so good to say, I had this issue, how did you do it? And people share, and it's so kind and loving, and it's a really great support group. So if you have anyone that you're taking care of, or maybe a friend who needs some help, come and join us, 10 to noon. The bookstore will be closed Friday, November 11th for Veterans Day. That's coming up. And Friday, November 11th, the sanctuary will be open for another music jam. Those are really, really great spiritual music jams. And that's from 7 to 8:30. Bring your instrument, enjoy the music. It always begins connecting to the beat of the heart. And it's an amazing experience. Landscape Save-A-Day led by Diana and Charlie. And that's Saturday, November 12th, 9 to noon. And, you know, this time of year, it's been so dry, but now it's raining and things are going to be growing, yay. But things are going to need to be trimmed, yay. And so if you'd like to help them with that, they'd love it. 9 to noon, Saturday the 12th. Then another holiday thing, it's the Bliss team that is always looking at ways to celebrate life and celebrate community. They are putting together gift baskets for the holidays, and there's going to be a jewelry sale also. And it starts next Sunday, November 13th, and goes for a whole month. That's how much they have accumulated of good things that you're going to want to take a look at. They strive to create a unique collection of baskets that brings joy to every lucky winner, and tickets will be on sale next Sunday. Also next Sunday, I'll be doing a short class after service called The Essence of the Science of Mind. It's about an hour long, and it's for people that you've been coming, you kind of hear it, you're not really sure what we believe, and I'm going to just lay it all out and share how it all came about and the power of this philosophy to bring joy and happiness into your life. So come and join me for that. And all right, we sang happy birthday. Now Lori's going to do a reading. And that will be followed by inviting the bell 3 times by Christy. And then Christy will also do an affirmative prayer. We call it spiritual mind treatment.
Mary?
Yes.
I forgot to put something on the order of service.
Oh, okay.
The ladies from the Women's Retreat are singing their retreat song before I do the reading.
You're right. And I even wrote it down here.
Come on up, ladies.
Okay, ladies.
Ladies, come on forward, don't be shy.
Okay, we got this. I don't know if I know. We can share.
All right. This is just a sampling. This is a sampling of the 30 women that joined us last week. and not too far from here, not too far from home.
She was chasing me around the office with the
Sorry, we're just about ready. Are you on the edge of your seat? Hey, Mary, Elia. Get up here. Mama said.
That's right, come on. Anybody else?
You were, yeah, we need your voices. You thought you could hide, but I see everything from here. Yes, I see people who doze off, just letting you know. So the theme that we had for this retreat, we based it on Mary Oliver poetry, but we used the work of Mary Malley for her whatever's in the way is the way. And so I want these ladies to remember that particular title for those of us that stumbled along the way and found ourselves on the ground quite a few times. It was quite the terrain, but that all stays there, and I'll talk more about that. Here we go, the Karen Drucker's In the Stillness. Their words repeat themselves. It's meditative. Please join us.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace, and I rest and trust and breathe. And know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is peace. There is peace, and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There
So if you're comfortable doing so, I invite you to close your eyes and really absorb these words. This is A Blessing for a New Home by John O'Donohue. May this house shelter your life. When you come in home here, may all the weight of the world fall from your shoulders. May your heart be tranquil here, blessed by peace the world cannot give. May this home be a lucky place where the graces your life desires always find the pathway to your door. May nothing destructive ever cross your threshold. May this be a safe place, full of understanding and acceptance, where you can be as you are without the need of any mask of pretense or image. May this home be a place of discovery, where the possibilities that sleep in the clay of your soul can emerge to deepen and refine your vision for all that is yet to come to birth. May it be a house of courage, where the healing and growth are loved, where dignity and forgiveness prevail, a home where patience of spirit is prized and the sight of the destination is never lost. Though the journey may be difficult and slow, may there be great delight around this hearth. May it be a house of welcome for the broken and diminished. May you have the eyes to see that no visitor arrives without a gift, and no guest leaves without a blessing.
As we join together today in prayer, just take a deep breath in and remember the miracle that we are all part of today. I know there is only one divine, one infinite presence, one light, one love, one divinity, an energy expressing throughout everything, as everything, a tower of peace, a fountain of wisdom. This ever-expanding presence is all there is. And I know it resides in me at the core of my entire being. I am aware of my oneness with the divine. This love, this essence, this pure joy is expressing through me. And I know I speak my word that knows when we are home, that there's a place within ourselves. As we hear the words of Reverend Sue, we set aside what may be buzzing around in our heads and move into the heart space of home. I feel a beckoning from spirit to move within. We move into a higher view, a higher love, a stillness, a peace that is the essence of the soul. And I am grateful for knowing these truths, for knowing that we are here, that there is a place of peace, of light, and of love. I know that we are so blessed at CSL Reading. I realize I release my word into the law for its perfect unfoldment, knowing it is done. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Judy. And thank you, Christy. So, home. That's what we're going to talk about today. And at the tail end, I'm going to make another brief announcement as well. But we all feel kind of smug this morning because we had an extra hour of sleep, or not. I kept waking up during the night. Is it over yet? Have I used it up yet? What time is it? I didn't change that clock. I don't know what time it is. But then I was, for the first time ever, ready for church at 7:30. Getting more butterflies. But I found this kind of interesting. The first proponent of daylight savings time was an Englishman, William Willett. He conceived the idea while riding his horse early one morning in 1907. He noticed that the shutters of the houses were tightly closed, even though the sun had risen. "What a waste of daylight," he wrote in a manifesto. And there it began. What a waste of daylight. So this is something that I found as well. People across the nation get to fall back on this night, turning their clocks back an hour. Now, this is interesting. Authorities have said that this practice saves energy, prevents traffic accidents, and reduces crime. But plus, get this, I didn't know this one, when we change our clocks, we can also turn back the bathroom scale a few pounds. All right, I'm game for that. So, moving into the ideas that we share this month about home. And part of the song that touched me so much that the Sacred Sisters presented to you is about the sanctuary of the home, the sense of stillness. And more when we can allow ourselves to be still and know, that is the journey in itself. So I'll speak to that. And today's talk, there's no place like home. Now, many of you remember that from The Wizard of Oz and Dorothy, for those of you in that generation that watched that over and over and over again, and then it came out in color. We watched it over and over and over again. It's a beautiful movie, and it's when Dorothy gets home, she says, "We're home, Toto. We're home after all of the adventures. We're home. There's no place like home." And she is surrounded by a beloved family. And there's just this sense of perfection in that moment in her heart. So I can testify to that same feeling of returning home from any kind of journey, even a work day. And definitely, I was so happy to come home last weekend from the retreat. There was so much good and so many amazing experiences, but there were also so many challenges. But there's something about walking home where everything seems to shift, doesn't it? It becomes a place that suddenly, this is my real place. My home is my real place. An opportunity to let go, and you put down everything that you thought you were carrying in. It could be mental, emotional, or even something physical, but you get to put it down. And then you cross a threshold. And at one point or another, when you return to your home, there's a deeper breath that starts to breathe you. And you are finding yourself saying, "I'm home, I'm home." Now, I invite you to feel that clear back to in the innocence when you were just a young kid, getting home from school. Do you remember what that felt like? Right away, I went for the loaf of white bread and made myself cinnamon toast with way too much sugar and cinnamon, and then got scolded when my mom came home because there was no bread left. I didn't eat it, butter dripping down. But that was my home, and the idea that nobody was there to tell me I couldn't do it, I did it anyway. or getting home from when you were a kid, from grocery shopping, getting home from a slumber party, getting home from a visit to relatives. Think about all of these times. Home became our refuge. I can't wait to get home. How much longer till we get home? And we immediately knew what to do, even as a child, what to do to unwind. So returning last week to the women's retreat, like any trip away, like any time we all prepare, we plan. We all do this. I've spent months trying to find the right and perfect location, preparing and planning and searching for a place that works for all. And that's not an easy task when you consider some of the needs of various people, and considering COVID, and considering some of the things that you need to do to take care of one another, and keep the cost very reasonable. So searching, and then we found these retreat homes just not far away, and they're everything they're advertised for, Shasta Lake Retreat Homes. So I give them a thumbs up and a 5-star for being comfortable, beautiful spaces. They are, and if there was a lake, it would have been absolutely extraordinary. But even though the lake had retreated way back, that vista was exquisite. There was something about the desert-like effect, like I felt like I was at Colorado River, and the deer coming with baby fawns at this time of year surprised me. A mother with 4 babies with her, and so all of these moments that just you just were enriching the soul of your being. So the dead ends that I met before we found this place were disappointing to me and challenging to me, because I'm trying to find a place where everybody feels at home and that they have their own bed, their own bathroom. And we've had those moments before. So we got there all very excited about the vistas, but then it's a mountain. So driveways were like, And I remember just clinging on to Mary and anybody that I could grab onto as I would creep down with my sore knees down these steep driveways, and then find out real magical ways to zigzag my way back up. Joy Johns, oh my God, Miss just got my cane, and she'd go down these steep things up and down without a bit of fear in her heart at all. Amazing. But they also had these, I don't know why, but they were black asphalt, never the same curbs in front of every driveway, all right? So they stuck up from the road about, maybe, I exaggerate, it felt like when you're going over it, it was this high, but they were about that high, but there was no continuity to it. So at night in the dark, I would be like, I'm over, and I would bring my other foot and then do a bunch of, I'm not over. It's still going, because I ended up along the line of it instead of going over it. And so I would just be like, but I made it. But there were so many near-death experiences, I thought, for myself. And then I come in after, at the food line, and one of the ladies we won't point to had food all over her hair, and the other one was washing the windows because she tripped on we don't know what. Tripping was happening everywhere. Everywhere people could trip, they would trip. And I remember Shari Ditzler with her walker said, why are you making us go this way when there seems to be a path that way? And I said, it has cobblestones. They're going to get you. And sure enough, these ladies that had the walkers were able to maneuver that by going the shortcuts that I found. So interesting. The title of that book again, What's in the Way is the Way. What's in the way are these bumps. Bumps along our roads, bumps along our path, bumps along the journey. Watch out, you might trip, but somebody will be there to pick you up. And that was demonstrated time and time again. We did great work, and we got to go home. So even with all those challenges, I left that retreat with deep satisfaction, a deep sense of loving the women and their courage and their tenacity to stay on task and to help one another, to reach beyond their comfort zones and help each other enjoy and experience. So we meet these things, we meet these challenges no matter what journey we're on, and that's why Joseph Campbell calls it the hero's journey. It always begins from home and ends when we return back home. He says this, we must be willing to let go of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. There's so much in that message. There's so much to reflect upon. And relating to the hero's journey, remember, it does begin and end in home. So what makes home so special about this? And on a sideline, one thing that really warms my heart, and I've heard it over and over again, when people walk in this door and they feel comfortable, spiritually they say, I feel home. I feel like when I come here, I'm home. And my heart just rejoices in that. I want that for all of us, to feel like we have a place where we can be our real self and meet our challenges and lay them out here, and we're still going to be loved and accepted. So home, what makes it so special? And I realized because home is a place for our stuff, all our wonderful stuff. Everything can be in one place. We didn't forget anything. We're not up on a mountain somewhere and we forgot a stuff, part of our stuff. I forgot part of my stuff. And now I can't have fun because I don't have my stuff. I don't have all my comfort stuff. A place where we can be with all our stuff. All our stuff can be in one place. We're so eager to start a vacation, and often people say, oh yeah, it was a great trip, but oh, it was so good to be home. And then coming home from India, I remember, because Charlie felt so sick that whole long trip home from India, I wanted to drop on my knees and kiss the runway in San Francisco. I didn't care who was watching. I was so grateful. I'm home, almost home. But just the familiarity, the comfort of coming back. Home, comfort, familiarity. Now, we just put our family home of a lifetime here in Redding up for sale. And I have witnessed myself clinging to all the memories. You've probably gone through this too. We've been there for over 35 years, raising children and having many marriages in my backyard from various people. And then having the pleasure of Lindy and Danny and Corey getting to live there. So I didn't have to let it go when we moved into our single-story home. There was a chance to have a breather there, so I could not let go too quickly of this home I loved so much. So for 2 years, the children lived there, and now it was time for them to find their home. And we totally supported that. So they moved all their stuff over there to their new home. And it quickly shaped up to be their home soon as their stuff was there, right? It starts to feel familiar and comfortable. Now, the Wimbledon home is empty now, except for the memories. And there's none of our stuff there. And I thought it would hurt more. So the realtors staged our home with their stuff. And Charlie and I got so uneasy with it. Ooh, this isn't our stuff. Doesn't feel right. There's fluffy feathers and things. Where we had sacred altars and memorabilia of times past, making our home feel like a sacred temple, there was feathers and fluff and weird lamps with dangles on them. And Charlie, he kept saying, I'm not comfortable with this. And I said, I'm not either, but it is what it is. But he had to call the realtor, and can you take some of the fluff down? Just not us. And I'm sure the realtor's going, it's not you, it's not yours, and it's not going to be yours anymore. But we felt so good just by them taking a couple of those items down, because we wanted to still work there and keep preparing it and in making it be what people walk in, and we want them to feel I'm entering sacred space. When I bought that home, it was from a member of this center, and he was a devotee of Muktananda. And what drew me to the ambiance of the place was the incense and some pictures that were familiar to me. I said, this is my home. I barely remember what the walls and the structure looked like, But there was the sense, I'm home. This is mine. This will be our home. And it was for many years, and we have lovely memories of that. So I speak of stuff. Or is it that something inside of us shifts? Something inside of us gets real when we're home. Something authentic, what's the word? Authentic, thank you. What's wrong with my tongue? Something about ourselves becomes more real, right? So that's the part that we feel safe. We come home and we feel safe. And the familiar sense of our home become very familiar to us. Now you've heard even this, that home is where the heart is. There's usually somebody that's got a embroidered pillow with that somewhere in their house, or a cat makes your home real, or a dog. So we look at the places that we carry any disappointment in a home. Maybe we're not living up to our standard if our home is feeling cluttery to us, or we feel it's not what it's meant to be or not what it's supposed to be. But we still belong there because the house and the stuff are mirroring back to us, our consciousness, what we have created. And I know there are exceptions to home. And I value that. And one of the people here, Sally Foster, what I value she is doing is she sits here weekly and she prays for the homeless. She does the Ho'oponopono practice. And to me, that is so inclusive and so endearing and so the most beautiful testimony to love. Because not all of us have the structure of a home, but everyone wants to put their stuff somewhere and feel safe. So there's an exception to the model of home that I might be describing, but just keep realizing actually all it is about, again, a reflection of your consciousness. What is your true home is your physical being. It is your body. It is your heart. It is the place where your true home, the soul of your being, resides. In a mystical sense, we can find ourselves just feeling rooted and safe, a place where we know our transformations will take place, a home where we can find our true center and things begin to flow for us. The outpicturing of something that we have co-created by calling it our home invites us to feel a oneness with it, a connection with it, a sense of freedom inside the doors of our home. Think about it. You get to wear what you want or not wear anything at all. You can dance if you want. You can sing off key. You can play games on your phone without anybody judging you. You can take the longest nap if you want to. Life flows there. Once your shoes are off, you know you can stay home for a while. And people can come home to your place and they'll say, wow, nice home, nice home. And you feel very satisfied that they feel comfortable, and they might even say, what's that smell? And we all proudly, that's our smell. That's our smell. That's the smell of our home. It smells like us. And we feel really good about that. You know what I'm talking about? The smell is an important part of being in your home. So the smell is the essence. And we're in tune with that. So in the Holmes Reader of Practical Wisdom, he says, the Spirit of God is undivided and is an undivided and indivisible wholeness. It fills all time with its presence, all space with the activity of its thought, God thought. Everyone is an incarnation of God and a unique incarnation. All are rooted in the one life. Your endeavor, then, is not so much to find God as to realize God's presence and to understand that this presence is always with you, always with you. Nothing can be nearer to you than that which is the very essence of your being. Your outward search culminates in the greatest of all possible discoveries, finding God at the center of your own being. Life then flows within you. God's presence, this realization, this awakening, this idea of wholeness, oneness, unconditional love, this is spiritual home. It's the spiritual longing of everyone's heart. Now, there's something else important for us to realize here. Every time we return home, we're not the same person. We think we are, but we're not. We're not the same person. We have just lived another full day somewhere doing something. And sometimes maybe we get uncomfortable because we're trying to force ourselves back into feeling, numbing out or something, to try to feel what we don't want to feel, because you're a changed person when you interface with humanity at any level. So the invitation is just walk through your doors, cross that threshold, and allow gratitude to flow through your heart. To know that we are always being transformed with new insights, greater understanding, a shifting of our connection with one another and to spirit. It's always happening. We realize this every time we return home and revisit our day. At home, we find ourselves, we meet ourselves exactly as we are. You have to be honest. You have to take that still moment. That still moment. Think about it. When you slip your shoes off and you get comfortable and you think, is this a day well lived? Was I my best self? What is mirroring back to me that I need to know so as I journey out tomorrow as the hero of my life, how will I be? And then you close your eyes, any comfortable spot that you can find, and you listen to the presence. And you listen to the presence through the stillness. That's why Karen Drucker's song is so powerful, so important. Holmes says, nothing can be nearer to you than that which is the very essence of your being. Nothing can be nearer to you than this divinity. Your outward search culminates in the greatest of all possible discoveries, finding this God knowing, this true spirit in the center of your being. Yeah, you are the hero of your own journey. And there was, in the pocket groove, he says these words to you, and I share them, and then I'm going to close with the poem that Heather Nichols wrote from our retreat. For those that were there, it will sound familiar to you. But this is something that Dr. Siri Satnam tells us about home. It's integral to peace of mind. Where do you feel safe? And listen, in the stillness of this room, where do you feel safe? Some people live on the road, in trailers, in condominiums, small houses, mansions, cabins, boats, and others have no permanent housing, and they're continually moving around. Some prefer to live that way, and some prefer to live alone, while others thrive when they live in a house full of people. This reading hopes that all can maneuver life to such an extent that you find the living situation for each and every one of you that feels like home. These are the power statements of home. It is a place where you enjoy living. Home is the realization of what is in your mind's eye. It's an environment that changes as you grow. It's a place where you have all your stuff of the world that rejuvenate you. Home is clean and organized and nurtures you for success. Home is necessary to have peace of mind. Home brings peace, strength, and joy. Home is where I feed my body, calm my mind, and nourish my soul. Home. Home is where a place I can run to at the end of the day. Home is my place of refuge. Home is my sanctuary. Home. I feel at home at my house, my physical home, my residence, but I feel at home here when I walk through the doors. I am comfortable here. I am one with all of you in whatever you brought forward as you walk in to the sanctuary and cross the threshold. We are one. We are whole and complete. No matter what you call home, no matter what is inside of you, just know that you have arrived and you can relax and you can be your true self. So as Judy plays the music, I'm going to share, if I can find it, the poem that Heather wrote. I have too much stuff here. Here it is. Beautiful poem. Heather Nichols. She's a young woman, and she is surviving a battle of very aggressive breast cancer. And she showed up at the retreat with such courage and such authenticity and such love. Here are her words. Our last practice was to be in stillness. So I invite you, in the stillness of this room, these are the words that were fed to her by her sweet spirit. There you are, beautiful one. I've waited for your return. No judgment, only love. Come, let me hold you. Sit with me a while, on mountaintop or anywhere. Let me cradle you in my bosom. Bring your fear, your worry and sorrow. Bring your joy and wonder. You are accepted in all forms, all ways. I am the current beneath your breath, the energy force in all things. I hold space for you, for all you are. Our visit can be brief or longer than time. You will be safe always, held always, never too much or too little, always seen as your highest and purest, your true self. Let me be the mirror. Let me be the mirror and show you the way. Welcome back, dear one. Love, stillness. Words from Heather Nichols that I invite you to take as the prayer of your heart today as you leave this home to your true home. Your heart is carried with you, and there is a divine love and grace that is inspiring you every step of the way. Just watch for the cobblestones and bumps, and you'll survive. Thank you, God, and so it is. Thank you for listening. Thank you. I appreciate, while Dalton's getting ready, I'll have just a moment to say that we have one more week to finish up our stewardship generosity drive, and this is the cards that we've been inviting you to fill out. And I noticed Linda Mitchell handing out some of our gift bags for those of you who have joined our Spirit of Generosity bags. Next week, we're going to have a celebration of all of this. We have some exciting news to share with you, and we're looking forward to that. So next Sunday, the board will be offering you soup and salad, and we'll break bread together and share some joy and some gratitude and one another. And Danny Castro, Lindy's husband, will be performing some music for us, and any other musicians here that want to play and join on stage for that. It's just a party of love. So thank you.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Thank you, Dalton. And now it's time for the offering. If the ushers would come forward, please. And as we prepare to give our offering today, our hearts are filled with love and appreciation, since what's offered here is for our spiritual well-being. We're filled with gratitude, knowing that life stays in balance for us. As I give, I receive.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
I give thanks for these blessed donations received in the offering this morning and those that come in during the week. And I know each dollar supports this spiritual family in so many ways as we grow together, pray together, and give thanks for all that this center has been blessed with today and always. And so it is. Thank you, ushers. So we have the event going on in the social hall, right? We used to call it Pigs in a Blanket. Is it still called that? Burritos in a blanket. Oh. Okay, that sounds really good. Sounds very interesting. All right, there's that. And the bookstore is being opened right now from Lori. There are a lot of great things in there to look at, and thinking the holidays coming up. Some really delightful things. Lori's done a good job at purchasing. And so we have one last music, and we have practitioners by the bell to do prayer with you. If you would like a prayer, we'd love to do that. So Dalton, sing us out.
Go on and stand on up, please. There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. You know how it goes. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. Let me hear you. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. Well, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. Hey, now I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. Well, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. That I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. One more. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for who? God.
There we go. That was our exercise for today. I also want to mention there is a sale on the bookstore, so don't shove your way through the door. It's not like Black Friday or anything. Just calmly walk in and grab what you want. But thank you for coming today. It was the Spirit today. If you were new today, please come forward and I'd like to meet you. So even though you don't have a blue packet, if you so please, would be delightful. Enjoy your day. Thank you.